Hi guys, and welcome back for another tutorial from Nottingham Music Excellence. So I'm going to play some grade 7 clarinet music today from the ABRSM book, and I'm going to start with that lovely piece by William Hurlstone called Scherzo. This is from a lovely set of pieces actually that I know quite well from my early days of playing, called the 4 characteristic pieces. So do check out the other movements of this. It's a really nice piece. Hope you enjoy the video. Here we go. Okay, so you've heard the music. Let me see if I can offer you a few words of wisdom on the detail of the music to help you play it in a really tidy way. So first up, I think this is a really great piece for grade 7. It's not too hard, but it's a large enough work to be considered, you know, worthy of those kind of upper grade clarinet pieces, grade 6, 7 and 8. It's quite a lengthy piece, and there's some really good sort of transitions and really clear stages that you can go through in this piece. So trying to get off to a really good start at the beginning of this piece, really try and get that 6/8 really accurately tongued. That rhythm, you could call it the Tchaikovsky rhythm or the Beethoven 7 rhythm, but that kind of dun 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 dun, that is a really tricky rhythm to do. So that semiquaver that goes to the quaver, that is always tricky to do, and it can catch, you know, any player out. So really good, clear rhythm there and really clear articulation skills. And I always find the next one at bar 4, the end of bar 4 there, that one is always a little bit trickier to fit in than the first one. So just watch with that one. So 1, 2. And moving on to bar 16, just be careful with these top E's. Now it's marked crescendo sforzando on that E. Be careful how you place that. I found once or twice if I forced it, you either ended up with an A unexpectedly or it just didn't sound very nice. So just be careful how you do the sforzando there. You can very easily end up, if you force that too much or grip it slightly incorrect, you're going to end up with an A there quite easily. So just watch that one. And down 41, 42, 43, 44. Be careful of this with the piano. This is quite tricky. Kind of sounds like you're rushing there, but it's just the, you know, the rhythm in the piece. Just got to be really careful there. And then moving on to the maestoso. Now I noticed in the ABRSM recording of this, it doesn't really hold back at all. It doesn't really, my feeling is that the poco maestoso just needs to sound a little bit more grand. And it doesn't actually say, it says dotted crotchet equals crotchet. So that implies that it doesn't change tempo at all. But then it's got this poco maestoso. So my feeling is that if you're going to make it more maestoso, then it just needs to feel a little bit grand and it needs just a touch taking off the tempo. Now there is a little tricky bit here that I think is quite tricky to know what's going on with the piano part. So at a tempo at 87, that's nice and easy. You can hear that quite clearly where to come in. So that's okay. Play that nice and quietly. Now at the next bit, when you're on your A, I think it's quite hard. I've played this loads of times and I think it's quite hard to hear the detail in the piano part down there, just to know where to place the G and the F sharp at the end of that A. So practice that a fair few times. And moving on to 105, really go for it here. Big Mercato sounds quite big and jolly, doesn't it? So make that quite big and grand there, and it's nice and easy to play, isn't it? So don't hold back. Now moving on to the last page. Now a lot of this is the same as what we've played before. When it comes back to the 2/4 and we've got that grand theme again, but then we nip into the poco accelerando. Now this is the bit I think that this is quite hard to play with a fixed accompaniment. I had to rehearse this quite a bit. I think when you're playing with this with a live pianist, it will make a bit more sense, and you can both fit with each other. When you play this with a fixed backing track, this is quite tricky. So poco accelerando here. So my preference is to take a breath there at the start of the poco accel, take a really good breath where it says piano at 177, and then try and get through to a crotchet before the vivace. So a crotchet before 183, sorry, a quaver before 183, and then take a really good breath. It's actually in the middle of a slur, but I think I think just take a breath there. So you've got, so good breath here. And then you're into your vivace. So I think just before the B there is a really good place to grab a big breath. And be careful you don't get too excited, and as you go up to that E, again, don't squeak on that E. So just be careful how much you're prepared to force that. Don't make that bottom E too ugly. I don't know whether it came out as ugly on my recording or not, but give it a nice big healthy sound on that bottom E, but perhaps just don't make it sound too big and ugly. Again, with the fixed backing track, this goes like the clappers, but I think when you're working with a live pianist, you can work out how much animato you want to do here, but so I hope that helps. I hope I gave you a few words of wisdom there. Have a play along with that recording yourself now. I'm going to turn down the clarinet part. Try and play along with the piano part yourself, and I'm going to put the minutes in the piano part of key points in the piece where you can rehearse from. So especially on that second page there, have a go through from there loads of times, because the first page is quite straightforward to fit with the piano. So I don't think you'll have any problems there. But make sure you practice that second half of the piece loads of times. Okay, so I'm going to count you in and see if you can come in really accurately. Here we go. So 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so I think that's it for the Hurlstone Scherzo. I hope that helped you out a lot. If you did find the video useful, then of course hit that like button, leave me a comment below and let me know how you're getting on with the music. And of course, maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you want future updates about videos that I do. But for me, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!